I have a really quick and easy Valentine's Day card for you using some scrapbook.com products. Hey everybody, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. I really have everything kind of prepped. I'm using some patterned paper. Well, all of my paper except for the white and black are patterned paper from the Valentine pattern paper collection from scrapbook.com. A lot of these are newer products. I recently did a haul video showing some of these, so I thought it would be great to now make a card with it. And then I have added a little black mat behind the red cardstock that we're going to be using and adhered that to white cardstock. Then I have these two strips of patterned paper. Again, all the pattern papers from that Valentine pattern paper, and I'm going to have this run vertically down the card. So that's going to go there. I will trim it off, but first I have to adhere it straight. Then I die cut using the nested stitched scallop frames. I die cut the second largest frame from that. Then from the Valentine die cut, I'm going to create this cute little heart lock and key. I lost my little piece to the top part of the lock, so I'm going to run that through my die cut machine right now from black cardstock. This is mixed media, the black and white from scrapbook.com. So let's adhere this. That red cardstock is again from the patterned paper. I'm going to adhere that cute little heart. Then it has a keyhole. It has the top part to the lock. I'm just going to use some liquid glue to adhere that down. And then I've also die cut the 14 from the Bold Numbers with Flowers die, and those do have coordinating stamps, two different stamps that coordinate with that. But I'm not using the stamps. I am just using the die cut for that. So isn't that darling? And I die cut the key from black cardstock. I really wanted to bring in a lot of black against this pink and red because it's so bold. Now, using the nested stitched scallop frames, the inside piece cuts out, but I want the whole piece together. So I'm just going to use some 3mm foam adhesive to hold the frame, the scallop frame, and the inside piece together to keep it as one whole piece. But if you wanted the scalloped frame to be a different color than your inside piece, you most definitely could do it that way. But I'm going to keep it all in that cute pink and white striped pattern paper. I did decide to bring in a white strip of paper to kind of break up all of that pink and red on the front. I liked the white in the back, but I am going to bring in a white strip just to kind of shake things up a little bit. I do add some 1mm foam adhesive behind the 14 here and also behind that little lock, and a little piece goes on the key as well. I do want this to have a little bit of dimension off of that frame that we're going to add to the background. So I'm just kind of getting all of my adhesive together. This card really did not take very long, even with the die cutting. I think the concept of it and me just putting it together in my brain took longer than putting this card together. And I think that's what's kind of great about quick die cuts, like this lock and key. That's a quick die cut. Die cutting the numbers, that's quick. Trimming out your pattern paper, that's quick. So all of this just really did come together super, super quick. Let's adhere these numbers down. Something that if you guys follow me, you know that usually numbers and alphabet letters, I die cut multiple times and glue them together to give them dimension, but I did want to save time on this card, so I opted to use the foam adhesive instead of die cutting that number multiple times and adhering it together. So now we've got a little bit of that foam adhesive behind that lock. Now let's adhere our strips of paper together so we can get this card put together. I do want to see the red and black cardstock on, cardstock on the left-hand side. So I'm just scooching in these strips of patterned paper in just a little bit. And then there's that white strip. That's about a 1/2 inch thick. Again, just to break up all of that color, I am going to line it up on both sides with the black cardstock. And then I can just trim that off using my scissors. And then we can just pop that little background piece kind of in the center. I actually do have it leaning a little bit to, or going a little bit more to the right, because I wanted to see those strips of paper on the left-hand side. So I just did it off center. I don't even think that you can tell, but I do love the way that this little layout came together. So let's remove that release paper, and then I can get this. I am centering it top to bottom, but again, kind of going more towards the right. But that is looking cute already. Now let's bring in our lock and key. We also have a sentiment that we're going to need to do. I am using the Love You stamp, and I'm going to use the sentiment that says love you so much, but we're going to stamp that here in just a minute using the Misty. But I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the end of that key. I think that key is so cute. Like, I just kind of want to make a card with a bunch of keys. I think it's darling. Okay, let's bring in the Misty. I've got some white cardstock. I'm just going to use black ink, and I'm stamping the scripty love you so much, and I am going to fussy cut that because there is coordinating dies for that stamp set, but not for the smaller sentiments. So I am just going to use my scissors off camera and trim that out, and then we can adhere that to the front of the card. But I'm just going to use some black ink to ink that up, because I really do like bringing in the black on this card. I'm using the 2mm foam adhesive on this piece here, and it's going to overlay a little bit onto the lock and a little bit onto the number 4. But I feel like the sentiment kind of brings those, the 14 and the lock and key together. I feel like it's kind of the bridge that brings those elements together. Let me just trim off that little bit of excess. I'm getting my foam adhesive to fit between the lock and the number 4, and then on the right side of the number 4. So I'm just going to put that in place. And then I've got some red and white clay heart. So I'm going to add a white one to the lock and then red ones on the numbers. I think it was just a nice finishing look. Let's take a look at that really quick. I think this card turned out so darling. I'm absolutely in love with it. I love all of the pattern paper and the die cuts, and it really did go together quickly. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you feel inspired by this video. If you do, please subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and share.